Hey, oh wait, is my mic on? Can you hear me? I am like the worst live girl ever. I mean, I can't say I'm the worst live girl because I've never gone live before. And then I was feeling like, hey, Kim, I get to talk to you twice, Colleen. Oh my God. I'm testing out several different things. So, all right, so I can play music. Okay, you guys can hear me? Yay! So I could play music. Can you hear the music though? It's okay if you can't because it's really just for my purposes. And then I'm glad that I can see the chat because I was wondering like when people go on live, how do you see the chat? But the chat actually is on the screen. This is pretty cool. So I am. There really is tea in my cup tonight, guys. Really. I know sometimes I say there's tea in my cup and there's not really tea in my cup, but tonight there's really tea in my cup. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm getting somewhere. All right. Well, let me jump right into it then. I just got these dual tip Ohuhu markers, and I want to test them out. I think I'm gonna swatch them. Let me see the colors. I so I originally was looking for some. I've been going through the struggle with these markers, right? I'm really getting back into my coloring book. I was really into coloring. Well, I never stopped coloring. I've been into coloring since I've been a child. So let's start there. But I was very excited. I was very excited when adult coloring started, and I could actually be an adult and tell people I color. Oh, really? Okay. So I tried some alcohol markers. I tried some alcohol markers recently, and I really loved them. But what I didn't love is that they ran out of ink really quickly. So I decided to try, like, step my game up. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's too much background noise for myself. I decided to step my game up and try, like, a popular brand. So I heard a lot about these Ohuhu markers, and they're supposed to be really good. But after I placed the order, I realized that these are not alcohol markers. This is actually their line of regular markers. So, and let me double check to make sure I'm not just saying that. Yeah, see, it says water based. These are water based. I thought I was ordering alcohol markers, and what really drew my eye to them is that they had a really good color selection. Look at all these colors, guys. So pretty, right? They had a really pretty color selection. And I was like, oh, yes, this is for me. But I thought they were alcohol markers, but they're not. And I should know because the price point was pretty good. I think for this set and a coloring book, oh, it came with a 8.99. 8.99. Okay. I'm gonna add it to my Amazon shop for sure. I haven't added it to my Amazon shop yet, but look for it. It will be in there. So let's look at the coloring book. I'm excited about the coloring book also. Um, it says for beginners who are looking for a bit of more detail. Hmm, I like this. This is cute. Like it has a little strap, like a journal. This is making me happy. All right. So, ooh, what? What? It has like a little plastic sheet to keep you from messing up the other pages. And look at the images. This is so adorable. Okay, Ohuhu. It has like little samples of the images in the beginning. So like little miniature. So like this is like little miniature of the actual large sample of the actual images that's going to be in the book. So we have this girl. Oh, these are cute. So adorable. I can play with skin tones. I am horrible at skin tones. I normally don't color. I have in the past colored um, skin tones, but it's been a minute. So I might start with some pigments. I think I'm gonna start. Look at this. Look at these things. I can see myself doing that. I probably was like it, but I think this is so cool that they gave you this little piece to kind of protect your next page in case there is some bleeding, right? So, like I mentioned, these are not alcohol markers. These are actually Ohuhu's water-based markers, and they're what makes them popular after I did some research is that they supposedly don't bleed. So I am going to start swatching here. How about I start with these pinks? Hmm. Yep, I'm starting right on time. It says, oh no, we're supposed to start here. Pale yellows go first. Pale yellows go first. All right. So it has two tips. Has this little brush tip, and then it has this little round tip. I like the little round tip too. I'm excited about that. And this is number one. Okay. And of course, this doesn't give, it's not as juicy as a right off the bat. Oh no, this one's a little juicy. It is a little juicier than um, regular markers, so I do like that. Okay. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Is it Ohuhu? Am I saying it right, y'all? Oh, the yellows are pretty. Okay, so if I tell y'all how many sets of markers I have in this room, I would be so ashamed of myself. I can't even tell you. I'm gonna have to keep it to myself because I'm always testing out markers and I can never find one that I really, really like. And I end up buying and buying. Oops, I messed one up. This was supposed to be seven, and I put the wrong color in seven. Okay, but anyway, this is what we got so far. These are the yellows. Super cute, right? Okay, just making sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Yes, love the dual tips. All right, so this one was supposed to be number seven, and I think I swatched the wrong color. So let me swatch again. This is seven. Okay, so we have six, seven, six, seven. I don't know what that means. My granddaughter keeps saying it. All right, so 8, 9, 7. All right, this is weird. I have 7, but then I don't have 8. Is there not an 8? Did Marcus not come? There really isn't an 8 in here. Okay, we'll pass 8 and we'll go to 9. Oh, so 9 is like a cherry white? Hmm. Like you can't even see it. It's very, very, very light. I guess it would be like a skin tone. All right, this is giving skin tones. Ooh, I think Ohuhu is going to have my coins. It depends on, see, this is the thing, right? I always tend to buy markers and I get hooked to brands very easily, but then I get disappointed very quickly because they run out of ink. So I need to find a marker that starts out wonderful and continues being wonderful. They run out of ink so quickly because I like to color like very large images, so they run out of ink really quickly, and I end up having to replace them. For a minute, I was on this Arteza kit. I love Arteza. I used to have all the Arteza markers, and I would rebuy them every time one ran out. So I ended up with a whole bunch of Arteza markers because you have to buy like the whole set. You can't just buy one color. So I don't know if this Ohuhu, I don't have a Michaels near me. So I don't know if these come like in an open stock, maybe at a Michaels. But I like them so far. Okay, how did I get to 53? Uh-oh. It just messed me all the way up. I was doing so good. I was doing 11. Hmm. Alrighty then. They sure didn't do this swatch card. I might have to do my own swatching in a different book because it's not the numbers are not matching up with the markers. So I'm just swatching away, thinking the numbers are going to match up, and they're not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some swatching in my own little swatch book, which I do have a swatch book, but I gotta look for it. All right, so here's the swatching. What is this? Let's just color something. I'm not a big swatcher anyway. I don't know who I think I'm fooling. I don't like to swatch. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. That tells you that I don't do it. All right, I'm gonna color something small so that I can get an idea of how. I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. They were really smart. Their marketing team is really smart. Oh, hey Leslie. Okay, so you found some markers at Ross. Okay, so the ones that I bought at Ross were really good, but they ran out of ink so quickly. I was so disappointed. This is how I ended up down this hole ordering these Ohuhus because I was like, if I order a better brand, maybe the ink will last longer. I don't know. That was just my thought process, but so I think the marketing team did really good by adding this coloring book because the paper in this coloring book is really nice and smooth, and I can tell you right now that this is some good paper, and an average coloring book is not going to have this kind of paper. So this paper is probably going to work very well with their markers and not soak up all the ink. Where your average coloring book, a lot of times come with these this very cheap paper. Now, when I was really into like COVID markers, I would get a coloring book and I would have to Xerox the page on some really good paper. That's how like I was so crazy about it. Had to be the right paper. You didn't want to mess up your markers and all that good stuff. I am no longer that girl. I want to be able to buy a coloring book and just color. I don't want to have to think too much about it. I want my markers to work. I want my coloring book paper to work. So I do buy like I try to buy coloring books that, are a little bit on the expensive end. Every now and then I buy a little cheap one just because the images are so cute. I can't help myself. But so I kind of feel like that's my thought process. Like if I spend a little bit more money on the coloring book, maybe the paper would be better. That's not always the case though. So all right, let's get into it. Let's just color something, guys. I'm gonna color this this flower pot with the flowers in it. Let's just get into it. I'm gonna start with this. Ooh, I'm gonna do this. I think this should have came with a case. Now I gotta buy a case. Side note. All right, so let's see. As I thought, paper is doing really good. Somebody told me to not to get streaks. You want to like do little circles because remember this is water based. This isn't alcohol based. So the alcohol base will give you a very smooth finish. The water base, the reason why people don't care for it too much is you don't get that same smooth finish. Um, but apparently, through my research, these Ohuhu markers, these water-based Ohuhus, do not bleed and give you a pretty good finish. Um, and right now, I can say that I do like them. They are juicy. It's not a lot of streaking, but there is streaking for sure. All right, let's see what we got here. So this is what we got. As you can see, there is some streaking. Let's see if we have bleeding. No bleeding. So that was one of the things that I was looking for. I needed something that didn't bleed because I have, ooh, I just smudged it with my fingers. I have this book that I'm working on. I'm working on this coloring book that I bought. I bought this at Aldi's, and let me show you some of the pages I did. I did. Okay, I'm on my way. All right, I did this one. This is my favorite so far, by far. And I did this with acrylic gel pens, acrylic gel pens. And I did this one with acrylic gel pens too. So fun. And so I've had good success with that. But I wanted to be able to color these bigger images, which is the reason why I've been researching for some good months. And that was the purpose of doing the alcohol markers. But the alcohol markers bleed too much, so I can't use them in that book. So now I've come to these markers, and these markers so far so good. I'm coloring very messily for some reason. I don't know. I already came off the line. Let me take my time. Take my time. No, this blue. This is why swatching is important. This blue isn't the blue that I thought it was. But as I mentioned, this paper is really nice and it's not shrieking at all on this paper. doing pretty good on this paper, actually. Yeah, this is doing pretty. So I guess I better check to see if Ohuhu is going to be making coloring books because they might be some pretty good coloring books. I like this paper they put in this book. Very smooth, and it's the marker is not shrinking. So first lesson of the day is yes, your paper in your coloring book matters. So when picking your coloring tool, you must consider your paper. And that gives me the reason why I have so many different kind of markers. So I also have Crayola markers, which are also actually pretty juicy. Um, but they'll work really good with a lot of different papers because they're for kids. But they definitely shrink, which is why they're not my go-to. And the colors are really bright and pretty in the Crayolas as well. Okay, this is not bad at all. I'm sure you guys. Giving watercolor, I kind of like it. So I lost all my friends. It's okay. They'll watch the replay. I'm going to continue coloring and see how this comes out. So far, I like these markers. Now, how do I feel about the tip? The tip doesn't give any kind of movement. It's really, really hard. So it's not really giving brush tip. It's, yeah, there's no kind of brush. Like, it's just a pointy tip. It's like, what happened to the brush? There's no brush, and it's supposed to be a brush tip. So, I have questions. How do you make a brush tip with no brush? I would say like the very tip of it might have a little bit of movement, but for the most part, this is a pretty solid and hard tip. So we'll be doing any lettering with these pens. This is strictly for coloring. But I do like them. I said that I already did. And they're not paying me for this. So I could turn around and say I don't like them when I'm done. I generally like markers when I first buy them because they're all juicy and ready to go. For me, it's a disappointment of them dying after I cover like two pictures. I feel like I'm like a kid. I remember being a kid and your marker would die. Like you would like sometimes your parents would buy you the cheapest markers ever, and they literally would die like after coloring one thing on your coloring book page. It was just so disappointing. I get the same kind of disappointment when I'm adult coloring in adult coloring books, and it's probably even worse disappointment because I spend good money on my stuff. So nobody wants to spend $10 on a pack of markers that's gonna die after you color one thing. And those markers that I bought from from Ross. They definitely were $10, and they definitely died after coloring 3 pages in my coloring. Now, mind you, not all the colors died, but my go-to colors died, like my pink and my green. Those are my go-to colors. So, um, so far so good with these. They do stay kind of wet, and I am making a mess, but keep running my finger on there, forgetting that they're water-based and not alcohol. Let me try the other point. I haven't tried the other point. I'm gonna try this round point. Let's try this round point. See what we can do. Ooh, the round point is pretty good too. For when you want to go into a more detailed area. Okay, okay. This is very messy coloring, so don't judge me, okay? We're just testing. This is just a test. Pretend you don't see the little smudge right here. But this is what we got so far. So cute. I like it. Let's do a bleed test. Do we have any bleeding? No bleeding. So far these markers are definitely true to the one of the things in advertisement is that they do not bleed, and that is fact. So they are not bleeding. So yay to Ohuhu for the no bleeding. Um, I think where our pizza markers used to bleed really bad. That was the brand I was addicted to for a long time. But you know, new things come out, and you have to try the new thing. No, our pizza markers used to run out really quickly. All right, kids. All right. I don't think that these markers are gonna run out after one picture. They are pretty juicy. I am happy about that. Juicy enough to the point where you need to not touch it and you gotta give it a few minutes to dry because it's pretty juicy, which is how I smudged it. The finish is kind of giving me like a watercolor effect. Almost like I painted it with watercolor, which is I guess the reason why they're called water-based markers, right? So, right. I think it used to be for sure. Now I'm gonna have to find me a little case to carry them in. Another purchase. I actually thought they came in a case, but they didn't. So, what is everybody doing for New Year's? This is what I'm doing. I'm getting ready to fussy cut. I just released some new printables. The face kit is in haven't put it in the shop yet, but the face kit is available to Patreon and it will be going in the shop this weekend for sure. But if you are a Patreon member, you have access to the new face kit. It's already out and I love it and I'm super excited about it. But I was also super excited about these markers and I didn't know which way to go. So this is what we got. So cool. Alright guys, well, I am super excited about these markers. I'm going to keep coloring and I will post a picture on my Facebook when this is done, or on my IG probably, because I have to now go print out some printables. And yes, fussy cutting, celebrating with the kids. Is that what you're going to be doing? Kim, yay! That is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm getting off of here now so that I want to do everything, right? I want to color, I want to fussy cut, I want to journal. But one thing for sure that I'm going to be doing is bringing in my ideas, creating. That is definitely what I will be doing. I am going to be creating something. You know what? Actually, I'm kind of feeling like this round tip might be better to color with than the brush. Hmm. Right. I like the round tip. The round tip is pretty cool. But I do feel like the tips could have been a little bit softer because they're kind of peeling the paper in this color. Yeah. I think they could have made the tips a little bit softer. All right, guys. Well, I'm getting off here now. I'm going to go print my printable. Thank you for watching. Thank you for testing this out with me. I will be getting on live on Wednesday to do some type of creative project. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Happy New Year.